It's 4 p.m. of a Friday. Yeah, we're bringing developing news.
The day you've been waiting for. And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stores are watching this Friday, February 27. President Bongbong Marcos has appointed Environment Secretary Rafael Lotilla as the Philippines' new ambassador to the Holy See. Environment Undersecretary Juan Miguel Cuna will serve as acting secretary during the transition. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro clarifies that Lotilla will not or did not resign and requested for a, and we quote, lighter assignment.
The confirmation of charges hearing of former President Rodrigo Duterte concludes today, February 27. Later at around 5:30 in the afternoon Manila time, the prosecution and the defense will deliver their closing arguments. Both parties have already presented merits to their cases on the first 3 days of the ICC hearings. The final hour of today's proceedings at The Hague will be a review of the detention of Duterte. The ICC has already allowed Duterte to skip this hearing as well. And after the confirmation of charges hearings, ICC judges will have up to 60 days to decide where this case will go. There are 3 possible outcomes. 1, full trial, 2, remand, or 3, outright dismissal.
And back here at home, residents of La Castellana in Negros Occidental are being advised to wear face masks after ashfall blanketed their area. That's following the moderately explosive eruption of Canlaon volcano yesterday. Thick ash also caused near zero visibility along roads in Barangay Agisan, Himamaylan City. Between 9 and 11 this morning, Canlaon once again emitted grayish plumes. Alert level 2 remains in effect over the volcano.
Speaking of volcano, PHIVOLCS reported 2 pyroclastic density current events at Mayon volcano this afternoon, triggered by the collapse of a lava front. The first incident occurred at 12:40 p.m., followed by another one at 2:05 p.m., each lasting for about a minute. Alert level 3 remains in effect over the volcano. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro says she has no plans to invite Attorney Nicholas Kaufman to the Philippines. This comes after Kaufman, in jest, told reporters at The Hague that he would be happy to come to Manila to discuss the interim release of former President Rodrigo Duterte with Castro. Castro said she will be a gracious host to Kaufman as a tourist.
First of all, I'm not inviting him. If ever, everybody is welcome to see the beauty of our country. Welcome man, lahat ng turista, pati pamilya, kasama yan. And if he will be coming to the Philippines, I am more than happy to treat him. Buy him balut, bagoong, kwek-kwek, ayudi, adidas. But I will not discuss about the interim release because it has already been dissolved by the ICC. So pag-uusapan lang namin ang ganda ng Palawan, El Nido, Manila Zoo, lahat po yan. Yun lang po.
Castro also responded to Vice President Sara Duterte's claim that several public invitations to her were canceled due to fear of retaliation from the Marcos administration. Castro said that even the VP's father, former President Duterte, had called her a drama queen. Castro also reacted to Sara's remark about what could have been if she stayed on as Davao City Mayor and did not aim for the VP post in 2022.
Mismo ang dating Pangulong Duterte ang nagsabi na may mga pagkakataon na ang Vice Presidente ay sinungaling. Ipapakita ko po ang isang article at binanggit din po ni dating Pangulong Duterte na ang kanyang anak na si VP Sara ay isang drama queen. At patungkol sa pagtakbo niya na kung sana ay nanatili na lamang siyang mayor sa Davao City, muli sumasang-ayon tayo sa kanyang tinuran. Mas maganda po nga sana kung nanatili na lamang siyang mayor sa Davao City.
Okay, so si Kaufman daw ipapakilala sa kwek-kwek. ano tingin mo doon? Aking pamintuan ng Philippine Star.
But actually,
Bakit natatawa kayo?
Ay, masarap yun masarap kwek-kwek.
but actually,
Masarap
actually,
Ewan ko yung Adidas kung kakainin niya Adidas.
oh, of course not.
Adidas talaga eh.
Anak wise taste.
Pero that reminded me na, oo nga no, I wonder if nakapunta na si Nicholas Kaufman here. It's interesting if he has it, that he's defending someone that's, intricately tied to the Philippines. Pero, I wonder. We should ask him, no? We should get our reporters there to ask him.
Nakatikim na siya ng kwek-kwek.
Nakatikim na siya ng
Let me
kwek-kwek.
guess. Malamang hindi pa.
Favorite siya ng nanay ko.
I wonder as well, kasi the 6 Filipino, not all of them, but some of the 6 Filipino lawyers that the Duterte family sent to The Hague are often seen outside eating. And these are usually, Filipino food. Kasi
Baka kwek-kwek yun.
some of the volunteers bring, cacerolas of food. I wonder if nakikisalo din siya. That's also interesting, no? Because,
Si Kaufman?
Pero hindi...
I'm sure kung nakikisalo kasi siya, kinunan ng mga reporter ng
sabagay.
video yun. Kasi that will be interesting to watch. I've never seen anything to that effect. And, people would be taking photos. Diba? Especially, yung mga Duterte supporters. No, we haven't seen anything. So, I suppose it's safe to say that it's probably never happened yet.
So other than the Duterte administration, I wonder how much he knows about the Philippines, I guess, is the question in my head. Or if he's ever even set foot here. Baka meron na, whilst, in the process of defending Duterte, baka he has secretly come in here. I wouldn't know. Unless we ask him.
Patanong natin sa mga reporter.
Oo.
Patanong natin sa kanya.
Well,
Baka pwede siyang bumita rito.
the ICC prosecutors we know had come here a few times. Ito nga yung sinasabi nilang team ni Attorney Levy Baligod that were so-called, quote-unquote, wined and dined by people using...
Investigator, hindi prosecutor.
Oh, investigators pala, sorry. That were wined and dined by people allegedly funded by Zaldico et al. Yeah. And by the way,
sabi ng iba, ang laki-laki ng budget niyang ICC. And they don't need anyone to pay for their expenses when they are overseas.
Speaking of Baligot, let me just correct the record, by the way. When we interviewed him on Wednesday, it wasn't clear to me that he was the representative of the 18 Marines, the 18 gentlemen. And turns out he is. Na-confirm na ba natin to that he was representing them?
Yes, he
okay,
said
so
so
it's
naman.
not.
So
So it's not secondhand information. That's classified na as representation. So I apologize for that oversight. But in any case, marami pa rin parts of that allegation that are not clear to us that we're hoping the ombudsman can shed light on. Kasi na-file na yung notarized affidavit at the ombudsman.
I wonder if they bothered to correct the error that Baligod acknowledged.
De Lima.
Oo.
Hindi kinorek yan ni Baligod. Kinorek pala ni Mike Defensor. Ibig daw sabihin nun, nagkamali siya na binanggit niya na congresswoman na si Laila de Lima. Pero inuulit pa rin nila yung accusation na binigyan si Laila de Lima nata sa congresswoman.
But yun
ang inano nila na hindi siya congresswoman at that time.
But Ami, magulo pa rin because when we interviewed former Congressman Mike Defensor, there were also some inconsistencies. For example, they said initially De Lima was handed maleta then of cash. Then it became a paper bag. And then by the time we spoke to Mike Defensor, he said, no, it was maybe an envelope. So
lilinawin natin yan.
So we need to clarify that. And the second thing is,
hindi ko naabutan yun. So naging envelope na?
Naging envelope
lumilit
na.
Lumit. Mamaya, letter size envelope na yun.
ayun pala,
Baka ibang presidency na yung naalala niya.
ayun
Baka
pala,
yung
Ibang presidency, si Ami.
pinamigay sa Malacanang. Baka iba na yan.
Ibang presidency,
So I asked him, ano ba talaga? Is it maleta? Is it paper bag? Is it envelope? Kasi when we spoke to Baligod the day before Mike Defensor, he said paper bag, and nakita daw ng one of the Marines that it was cash. That's how they know that there was cash inside.
No, that was the interview between Baligod and Ted Filon kung saan naging paper bag. But
Hindi, sinabi din niya sa atin. Yeah, I asked him,
it was maleta.
how do you know it was, no, initially maleta. And then at some point during our interview, pati tayo naguguluhan na because the details of it are inconsistent. But anyways, the point is, the day after, Mike Defensor said, it was an envelope
You mean yesterday?
that was given to De Lima, allegedly. Which, of course, Congresswoman De Lima has already flat out denied. And the other thing I'm wondering about is the timeline here. Because, of course, she was in jail for some parts of the period that they were alleging.
Pero nabibisita siya sa jail.
Oh, but
Nabibisita siya.
but there were some times, I don't know, yung sinasabi nila na De Lima was seen talking to ICC investigators. Tapos, she was handed, whether it was a paper bag or an envelope of cash, it's not clear. For the most part, again, she was only congressman last year, and then, obviously she was in jail for a big chunk of the years between 2019 to 2025.
Although we can expect na the ICC will want to talk to her kasi nga siya yung original investigator ng DDS when she was the Human Rights Commission chair.
Correct.
So
The other
we
thing
will
is,
expect na someone will reach out to her to get her records kung yung mga input niya.
The other thing that might be of interest to look at is the allegation that Tito Soto received mga 5 maletas. If I recall correctly, 5 maleta nakalagay sa affidavit of
Kasi nagka-jumble
cash.
na nga siya. Naging flood control, saka naging ICC.
No, pero Bok, si Tito Soto was not
Basta
a
lahat.
senator
Oo.
between 2022 and 2025.
And so,
his last term as senator was until 2022, and he only got re-elected into the Senate in last year.
and in those years in between, he was doing Eat Bulaga. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
He was, Bulaga.
TVJ.
Oh, TVJ.
The new name. Sorry. So ano naman, the question that leads to is, why would he get roped
Five
into
maletas
this?
or so.
Exactly.
Let me check kung ilan ulit ang sinabi niyang maleta ni Tito Soto doon sa affidavit. I know I have it here somewhere.
Kanino bang affidavit yan? Joint affidavit
Yung
ba
joint
yan?
affidavit,
Hindi ko kasi nakikita.
yung mahiwagang affidavit.
Hmm.
I just need to look for it kasi nagka-jumble na rin ang aking mga ito. Okay. 5 maleta binigay kay Tito Soto sa Baclaran.
Sa Baclaran.
May lugar pa.
Oo,
May
ganun
lugar
ka-specific. Ito,
Bakit kaya ang daming tao sa Baclaran?
ito yung specifics.
Bakit kaya sa Baclaran?
4 na maleta kay Jesus Escudero sa Hemadi, 6 na maleta kay Erwin Tulfo sa Green Hills, 2 maleta kay Lauren Legada sa North Forbes, 2 maleta kay Bong Revilla sa Taste of LA sa Quezon City, 5 maleta kay Tito Soto sa Baclaran, 7 maleta kay Mark Villar sa Las Piñas.
Baka naman eleksyon na yan.
Don't know.
Baka eleksyon Kasi pag eleksyon talagang kasyang mga pinamimigay
You mean when he was running for the Senate in
Baka eleksyon
May
na
of
yan.
last year?
Kasi ang tinatanong ko yung kaila sabi nila, ang testimony niyang mga yan, nag-deliver lang sila ng maleta, hindi nila alam kung para saan
Yeah.
Kaya nagkahalo-halo na siya flood control, whatever. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng ganung mga, ng mga pagdideposito nga ng cash na ganyang kabulto-bulto, which is actually not unusual dahil nangyayari talaga yan sa atin tuwing eleksyon. Kaya nga tinatanong ko kung saan in-encash. Hindi lang sa bangko ini-encash yung ganyan dahil nga ayaw nga nilang matrace. Pag election, it's pretty common.
But is it-
Talagang bag-bag yan, maleta,
But is there any
million.
particular reason why the administration would want to give Tito Soto 5 maletas of cash?
At that
Kaya lang,
time.
yun na nga.
At
Anong
that time.
dahilan, hindi nila alam.
Way
Hindi daw
before-
alam ng Marines.
Way before he was a senator and way before he was Senate President.
In the same way,
even.
why would they want to give Lara de Lima, whether it's a maleta or a paper bag or an envelope of cash,
So,
before she was a congressman?
So it was being linked to the ICC, being linked to flood control, being linked to
Yun,
impeachment. There's we have to double check that timeline kasi maraming ang not clear.
Kaya
And some
tatanungin
of
na
the
lang
maletas
natin
daw,
si Boying kung sakaling out of hiding na siya, out of breaking his silence, kung ano yung sakit ng ulo niya yan, kung ano man yan
Okay.
And also then, the
Tingnan
allegation
natin.
na nagde-deliver sila ng paper bags of 5 million pesos sa mga mambabatas for the Quadcom hearings, tuwing may hearing.
Oh, nasama naman yung Quadcom din.
Oo, oo.
In relation to the impeachment or to the
I don't know.
war on
I
drugs
guess so.
investigation.
I guess so. Quadcom eh.
Okay, let's put a pin on this conversation first and let's get out to our reporter at The Hague, Angela Lagunzad Castro, who's standing by once again to cover the final day of the confirmation of charges hearing of Rodrigo Duterte. Ange, ano meron today? What's going on there?
Hi, it's still cold here. Uh, okay, it's already the fourth and last day of the confirmation of charges of former President Rodrigo Duterte, and we'll be expecting the continuation of the submission on the merits of the case by the defense, and then after that, there will be a closing statement from the prosecution, the victims through their legal counsel, and of course the defense. Then after that, meron din 1 hour na hearing for the review of the detention facility where former president is currently detained. So yun muna yung mga currently na nangyayari ngayon. Isa is kanina, there's a whole long line here at behind me para makapasok yung mga tao sa media gallery, but all of them went in already. So far, we've already seen the two family member of the EJK victims, and as far as I know, wala pa akong nakita from the defense side, and even the lawyers from NUPL, sila Attorney Cristina Conti and Attorney Nery Colmenares, wala pa. But last night they held a small gathering sa isang chapel. I just forgot kasi kung anong pangalan yun. But here also, nagkaroon ng parang konting ceremony, lighting activity, candle lighting activity to honor or to remember the lives lost in this drug war. So kasama doon of course yung organized by the Duterte Panagutin Network. So natapos yun I think around almost 8 o'clock. Kaya siguro wala pa yung iba dito, baka napuyat pa. But we will be here until they arrived. We'll see what's going to happen. So yun yung mga antabayanan natin. Okay, so okay, yan, parating na ngayon ang defense, naglalakad sila. I'll show you guys ha. Ayan, dito. Pero I'm not allowed to go there with camera, pagagalitan ako. Pero that's, wait, hold on Oh, that's the Filipino legal, wait let me check. Pag di ako pinagalitan, okay lang. Ayan. That's a Filipino legal team of former President Rodrigo Duterte arriving right now. Of course, that's Medeldea, Martin Delgra, Sylvester Bello III, and of course si Attorney Sal Panelo. Oo.
And
okay,
yung kumakaway si Sal Panelo.
Yeah, sabi ko kausapin natin siya.
Ayan, pupuntahan kaya
kausapin natin. Halika, Attorney, here. We're not allowed here. Okay, kausapin niyo po si Attorney Sal. Halika, come here. Lalapit siya.
Kita talaga si Attorney Panelo talaga
Diba? Yung OOTD ni Attorney.
Dito,
Attorney, dito tayo kasi we're not allowed to conduct interview near the entrance. Okay, sige. Okay. Attorney, we are joined by
Tanungin mo ako kung ba't ako naka-white.
Oh yeah, but ito na po, on air po tayo ngayon. We are joined by Regina Lay, Ami Pamintuan ng Philippine Star, and of course Ed Linggao,
Sir,
sa programang Storycon. Ito po.
Why are you in white, sir?
Why are you wearing white?
Sige.
Attorney, why are you wearing white?
To cover the black propaganda of the prosecution.
But your inner shirt is black.
But your inner is black.
That
Because you're covering.
You're covering.
the prosecution. The white is the defense.
Pero sir, you're the one wearing the black. We're just joking.
Attorney, yesterday,
narinig ko
Yes.
kahapon yung opening statement, extensive, sa kayang mga, confirmation of hearings. Ikaw, fearless forecast mo, are we going to trial? You're a lawyer. You're familiar with all these proceedings. Ano po yung
Well-
fearless forecast nyo?
Well, if the decision is based on the merits, it should be dismissed. But there may be other considerations. Like, for instance, I cannot understand why it has forced itself, this court, to assume jurisdiction when it has not. Second, when there is an appeal on the issue of jurisdiction, still it commends this confirmation of charges, which is part of the proceeding. Parang pinipre-judge na nila. So, hindi ko alam kung ano talaga mangyayari.
So,
Yes,
when you say
yesterday, attorney, I was able to talk to Attorney Kaufman, and I mentioned to him that you are applying for accreditation ng ICC, and he said daw na parang it's too late for the confirmation of charges. And I believe,
Hindi naman sa confirmation.
oo diba? Para if ever mag-proceed sa trial.
So I asked you
Saka
this.
hindi lang yun, actually, gusto kong pa-accredit para makita ko si Presidente Duterte.
Okay.
Kasi hindi namin makikita kung hindi ka accredited and
Yeah.
hindi ka formal member of the defense.
Right. But wala naman plano
But how-
palitan si Attorney Kaufman, sir.
Magaling okay na okay sa amin si Kaufman. He has done his work, thoroughly prepared for the case.
Pero anong balita niya yung state of health ni President Duterte?
Actually,
Anong latest?
hindi namin alam. Wala kaming, there's no way by which we can...
But you told me, during the socials with Kaufman, diba? He said he's
Hindi
worried.
na lang na he's worried sa kalusugan niya. Kami wala kaming access, hindi namin malaman. Saka wala rin yung mga kamag-anak nito, so wala nakakabisita sa kanya.
so, sir,
Saka kahit sila nandito, hindi rin makabisita kasi bawal at this stage.
Yeah.
Sir, you said kanina you're pretty confident na mananalo kayo if not for other possible considerations of the court. What exactly do you mean by that?
If on the basis of evidence, talagang wala. Kasi yung ebidensya nila, yung mga speeches na sinasabi nila na kill, yung pala, lahat ng mga speeches niya naman merong exonerating statement doon. Hindi naman nila pinapakita yun. Pagkatapos, nag-present sila ng memorandum circular. Sinasabi nila, that's the command to kill, yung neutralize. Yung pala, nakalagay doon you arrest in accordance with law. Tapos number 3, yung mga witnesses nagko-contradict sa isa't isa. Pati mga sarili nila, kino-contradict nila mga sarili nila. So inadmissible in evidence lahat yun. So if you're the court at hindi ka bias, talagang i-dismiss mo, wala kang choice.
So you're saying
Attorney,
only a
wala daw
biased court would...
direct link to the president
Talagang
What about
wala
yung
naman.
sa co-perpetrators? Yung sa co-perpetrators, sa tingin
kahit-
niyo, malakas ba yung kaso against them?
Dahil lalo nang wala. Wala rin kasi if you notice yung mga testimonya ng mga testigo, sasabihin nila, sabi ni ganito. Pag tinanong mo tinuturo nila, sasabihin niya sabi ni ganon. So madaling sabi hindi lang double hearsay, multiple hearsay na nga Kaya inadmissible in evidence talaga.
What about yung circular ni Ronald De La Rosa?
Wala nga yung circular. Nakalagay nga doon sa circular na you arrest in accordance with law, in accordance with the rules of engagement. Kaya the very document it is presenting to be its evidence against the president, it in fact is the
But
evidence in favor. Baliktad nga
But attorney, and of course you're a lawyer, you know that they don't have to prove direct link or causation here, right?
Hindi. This is a criminal case.
Yes,
Hindi
yes.
pwede
But
yun.
no.
Kailangan
The
i-prove
other
mo
law-
yun.
the
May
other
problema
lawyers-
kapag wala.
The other lawyers have
Kaya
ICC
that
lawyers.
is precisely where they were trying to prove the direct link kasi alam nila, they're lawyers, kaya alam nila na kailangan yun.
There is, sabi ng ibang ICC lawyers sa amin, that it is possible that you may not be able to prove the direct link, but inference, if the only possible inference from it is that he did, as an indirect perpetrator, contribute to this, then they can move the case to trial. In any case, the question is, what did you think about that?
Wala. Yung prosecution mismo believes na kailangan nila ng direct link. That is precisely why they introduced evidence to show that there was a direct link. Wala nga
Sir, you made a point earlier that hindi sinasama ng prosecution yung speeches kung saan may exonerating
cherry picking, in other words.
na hindi sasama yung mga speeches na may exonerating qualifier, yung speech ng Pangulo.
Yes.
But if I recall correctly, ang pagbibilang na ginawa ng defense was ito yung bilang ng may exonerating, ito yung bilang ng wala. So, merong exonerating speeches, merong unqualified na hearing. In other words, what you're saying is that tiningnan lang yung merong exonerating qualifiers. But
Teka muna. Let me correct you there. Ha? Yung 10 na pinipresent ng prosecution, nandun yung mga qualifier, pinili na lang nila.
Yes, sir.
Pero yung the rest, yung 30, puro exonerating. Hindi nila ilalabas yun.
Like for example, yung sinabi ng Pangulo na if the suspect draws his gun, shoot him. If he does not, shoot him anyway.
O hindi ba self-defense yun?
Well, no, yes, sir,
nagbumunot na ng baril. Anong gagawin mo?
No,
Antay
sir.
mong barilin ka.
Those were two lines. If he draws his gun, shoot him. Even if he doesn't draw his gun, shoot him anyway.
Shoot him anyway.
Remember that? That was-
Pero tingnan mo yung iba pang statement niya. Meron pinakita nga ni Kaufman
Yes, sir.
yan. Lahat
Yes, sir.
ng speeches niya, palaging merong ganon.
No, sir. My point is, there are some statements he made that
walang
there were
qualifier.
qualifiers. There were some statements he made may merong ibang wala. Yung the fact na meron kang ilang may qualifiers, does that already render invalid yung mga statements without qualifiers?
Saka isa pa, alam po niyo, ang problema nga ang style kasi ni Presidenting ganon. Puro, mahilig siya sa blaster, mahilig siya sa hyperbole. Panakot niya yun Yun ang estilo niya. Kahit nung siya ay mayor pa, ganon na siya Di mo naman mabago yun Pero, definitely, talagang galit siya sa mga pulis na nag-aabuso. Ayaw niya yun. Kaya sa kanyang sona, di ba? You abuse authority and there will be hell to pay.
Yes.
Di ba nung mayor pa yan nabubugbog nga ng pulis yan pag nag-aabuso mga pulis. Galit talaga siya sa mga pulis na nag-aabuso.
Yes, sir. What I mean to say is that there appears to be at least, at the very least, two sides or two faces that the former president would show to the public. There are times that he would say something that would be qualified, and there's times that he would say na talagang ratratay na ninyo.
Pero the general course ng kanyang mga speech, tinatakot niya talaga.
Actually, pareho sir. Tinatakot niya.
But anyway, basta kung on the basis of the presentation of the prosecution, I think their theory has been shattered to pieces.
Okay. Yes, sir. So what you're saying is that kung only a court that is biased, if I'm getting it right, only a court that is biased would not dismiss the case.
Yes, kasi nga on the basis of the evidence na inadmissible lahat ng mga pinakita ng prosecution.
Okay.
Well, dun sa,
Sige na,
last na po, dun sa isang sinabi ni Kaufman yesterday na yung parang dun sa memorandum na sinasabi nga ni Pangulo na wala naman siya inuutos na patayin lahat, Pero parang, sinabi niya, kung may ginawa, yung mga pulis, labas na siya doon. Di ba parang may panalaglag doon?
Hindi, ang ibig sabihin, kung illegal lang ginawa, hindi ako kasama doon kasi kontra ako sa illegality. Okay, thank you.
Sige.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
attorney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Attorney, salamat po.
Okay.
Okay.
But that was my point kanina. That's what we were talking about with Tony Panelo ang point ng defense is merong mga speeches ang dating Pangulo kung saan nagka-qualify siya.
Meron ding wala.
Baril ng ninyo
Wala,
pag
oo.
nanlaban. Pero may mga speeches kung saan
Teka lang.
diretsahan.
Can I just take a second to appreciate your use of the word rat-rat?
So
Yan ang tawag na bluster.
So may ganung that came from the defense if I recall correctly. Mayroon pa silang bilang,
Yes.
Angela, may bilang pa sila. Ito yung may qualifier, ito yung wala. Hindi pinansin yung may qualifier. But at the same time they're also acknowledging na mayroon nga mga hirit ang dating Pangulo na walang qualifier, ratratin na yan.
Ngayon, paano kayang iwewe yan, So for the
Yeah,
the 6 years of his presidency, bibilangin ba nila lahat yung mga statements na yon?
But my
Ano
point,
yung mas
my
marami,
point
yun
is
yung ba yung titingnan?
my point is If there are times when you obey the law and there are times that you don't obey
Na
the law,
hindi.
does that mean that because there are times you obey the law, therefore you are not guilty?
That's true.
I'll leave that with you guys.
Parang
But,
ano,
That's for the judges to
Condition-
decide.
parang conditional.
Oo. That's for the judges to decide. And again, remember,
Yeah.
they're not, at this stage of the process, they're not determining guilt
Yeah.
yet. They are just
Yes,
yes,
trying to
yes.
determine
Sufficiency
substantial grounds.
of the evidence.
Substantial grounds. They just need to determine whether there were substantial grounds to move this case to a full-blown trial.
To trial.
But nakalimutan ko. I was gonna answer. First time I've heard of that word. Ange,
Pero kanina tinatanong nyo kung si Attorney Kaufman ba na hindi nakikisali dito sa mga
Yes.
kainan. Hindi namin siya nakikita lumalabas kapag break eh.
Yeah.
Sila Attorney Sal et al. They go to the side kasi nandoon yung mga Duterte supporters.
Oo.
Doon sila kumakain. Sila yung nagbibigay ng pagkain dito kay Attorney Sal.
Ange, what about
Yung iba naman doon sa cafeteria lang.
What about
yes.
si Kaufman? Has he ever been to the Philippines? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Hindi namin natanong pa. Pero kahapon, you were talking to him, palabas siya, hanggang, nakakatawa nga kasi hanggang mag-cross siya ng street, bumalik pa siya, talaga sinusundan namin siya para makakuha nga ng statement sa kanya. Tapos natatawa na lang siya sa amin. Hanggang makasakay siya, sinusundan namin siya dito. Pero okay naman siya. He was able to answer some of our questions. Pero yun nga, pagdating, of course, it's understandable kung ano yung mga gagawin pa niya today. Syempre, hindi niya sasabihin yun.
Oo, but-
Abangan na lang daw natin.
Is
Baka
he?
pwede nyo siyang matanong, Attorney, have you eaten kwek-kwek?
Sige,
Kala-
mamaya pag nakita namin siya.
Kala ko
And listen
naman-
carefully how he
namin.
pronounces kwek-kwek.
Akala ko naman.
Sabi niya, what is kwek-kwek? Papa-describe pa niya sa akin
he
yan.
he tries very hard with the word Caloocan. It's Kalukan. I have to catch
Kalukan.
Kalukan. but is there a sense at all that he, at this point of the game, is having to prepare for a full-blown trial, or wala pa? He doesn't give that away.
Wala walang ganon. He just told us yesterday, can you let me leave? Kasi sabi niya, I'm going to write my closing statement for tomorrow. Pero other than that, he said he's very confident that he's already updated President Rodrigo Duterte from the other hearing, the other time ng hearing. So sabi niya ganon, and the President is in good spirit, sabi niya. So far, wala pa naman siya sinasabi regarding dun sa kakahinat na nito. But I'm sure lagi naman niya sinasabi sa amin dito, confident siya na yun yung niya, yung presentation niya ay na-rebut naman niya sa prosecution.
I'm surprised he's just about to write his closing arguments.
Well, he said he told us yesterday, baka mamaya nag-excuse lang siya to
Sa bagay.
let him
Baka
go.
edit.
Wait,
Baka edit or
final.
baka final.
Wait, Ange, yesterday or last
One
night,
last look.
last night, the feed was cut several times, and we later
Yes.
found out in the heat of the moment, we didn't know why it kept getting cut, and then later on we found out that it was because they were asking him to redact some things. What were they?
Yes. Kasi at some point, si Attorney Kaufman was beginning to parang reveal some of the witnesses or victims' names or identity. Number one yan dun sa sinabi sa House rules before the confirmation of charges started, di ba, nung Monday. Sinabi nila, we're not allowed to disclose yung identity ng mga witnesses, ng mga victims, di ba, for their security reason. And if there's parang kung kinakailangan na ma-reveal yun or mapag-usapan yun in a private session. So parang in a way, kaya nire-redact yun nung during that live stream kasi napagsabihan o ni-remind, sabi nga ni Attorney Conti, wag daw sabihin na pagsabihan, ni-remind si Attorney Kaufman na ni-remind siya nung House rules na bawal yung ginagawa niya. Kasi on the other side also, sila, yung legal counsel na kasama ni sa prosecution, si Julian Nichols, yun nga, parang nire-raise niya yung point na, teka muna, 'di ba, parang at some point he's going to reveal nga the identity of the witnesses and the victim. So bawal yun. Kaya medyo may mga reduction na nangyari kahapon during the trial or the hearing.
So they would strike it off the official record.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, kasi nga bawal yun.
Kaufman's an experienced litigator in the ICC. You would presume that he knows that.
Yes, sabi nga nila, 'di ba, this is not the first time na yung ibang mga legal luminaries sabi na this is not the first time na na-question na yung ethics ni Attorney Kaufman because before even he was still a prosecutor, kinwestiyon yung pag-appear niya sa isang case na parang sa appear niya with the defense sa isang case sa ICC. At that time he was still a prosecutor. So sabi na lang ganun, parang it's a typical of him to do that.
Maybe also it's a strategy. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know, we don't know, 'di ba?
Okay. We'll leave that there. Unless, Ami, you have any more questions?
Balikan ko yung ni Ma'am Ami kahapon, yung
okay.
tinatanong mo. Dun sa gallery pala, I already asked them. 142 pala yung capacity nun.
Yung gallery.
Oh, so there are through courtrooms. Oo. Tapos yun, 142 lang kami doon. Kasama na yung mga foreign dignitaries, mga international journalists, tapos yun, yung mga sa victims, sa hanay ng defense and ng victims, yun. Sama-sama na yun doon. And there are 3 courtrooms here, pare-parehas lang sila. And at this point in time, ito lang yung dinidinig sa korte na to, yung kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, former president.
Okay. All right. We'll
Ilan
leave
siya ka
that there.
kumakain ng kwek-kwek?
Nakakamiss magkanin.
Sabi na nga, may ganong hirit eh.
Sausaw suka.
I'm sure if you go to an Asian
Oo.
store, you can buy some, but
Probably
Yeah.
expensive.
probably expensive. Okay, we'll leave that
Yeah.
there. Thank you so
Alright.
much for your reporting
Bye-bye.
and keep warm. Angela Lagunzad Castro reporting live from The Hague in the Netherlands.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
You are watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
You've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay, still with us, Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star. The National Unity Party, or NUP, has retracted its no-vote stance on the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte. Let's bring in NUP member, Manila 2nd District Representative, Congressman Rolando Valeriano. Welcome to Storycon, Congressman.
Salamat po. Magandang hapon
Hi,
po
sir.
sa inyong lahat at sa all televiewers. Good afternoon po.
Hi, Congressman.
Yeah, good afternoon po, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, baseline lang siguro muna tayo. Ano talaga yung posisyon ng Nagugulan kami dahil
ano ba talaga?
naglabas ng statement si Sec Gen. Ano ho yun?
Ako po ay third term na sa Kongreso. Never naman na ang NUP nagdikta sa amin ang aming boto. Wala pong ganon. It was always a conscience vote. Ang usapan po namin, if you think that is right and that is just, gawin mo. So, ang mangyayari po rito, kanya-kanya kaming boto kung ano po yung magustuhan ng miyembro. At tilinaw din naman po yun ni Deputy Speaker Ronnie Puno, I think last night na ang sinasabi niya lang, it's a conscience vote dahil nga mukhang hating-hati ang opinion ng NUP members.
Pero bakit po nag-issue ng ganong statement
Oo,
in the
saan ang
first
hugot
place?
ni Sec Gen doon?
buong araw kahapon, yun ang kumakalat na istorya na hindi nga kayo papayag na
Diba?
na hindi kayo inclined to support. Bakit po nag-issue pa ng ganong statement?
Nilinaw naman po siguro po nagkaroon lang ng konting miscommunication or misunderstanding do sa statement in which last night nilinaw naman po ni DS Puno na ang ibig niya sabihin talaga it's a conscience vote po. And even before naman po, marami na akong istorya sa National Unity Party. Wala naman po talagang nagtitikta sa amin doon. Una nga po, iba-iba ng pag-iisip din yung mga kongreso. At even yung 305 o 310 members po, I still believe that they will vote based on their conscience and based what is right and what is just. Yun po ang nakikita ko dyan.
So, ikaw, sir, how will you vote?
Ako po ang nagsimula, kung matatandaan po ninyo, last year, although wala pang impeachment noon, ako po yung nag-privilege speech regarding kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Doon po, at ang alam ko, doon po nag-start at gumulong yung impeachment niya. Ngayon, to be honest po, nasa office na namin yung 4 na complaint ng impeachment. Babasahin ko po mamaya, although yung 2, nabasa ko pa. At halos yun din naman yung mga nakaraang tinitali in which bumoto po ako noon for impeachment at that time. Ngayon po, tatapusin ko lang yung 4 na taxi. Yung huli po, yung pang-4 na impeachment complaint, hindi ko pa po talaga nababasa. and I have to look at it. Pero definitely po, ang tingin ko naman, makaka-generate din ng 105 members to sign the impeachment dahil halos yung Kongreso naman po siguro naniniwala sa tama at sa makatarungan.
How did you come up with that number, sir? May mga nakausap na kayo, yung 105?
Again po.
Yung 105 that you're saying,
105
how did
po
you...
ang magic number
Oo.
to get Vice President impeached.
So 1/3. Pero may mga nakausap na po kayo. How did you come up with that? How are you so confident about this?
Meron na po ako nakausap in the first place, yung Committee on Justice lamang po, that is 50 plus yung Committee on Justice including opposition. And I still believe, kasi po yung 4 na impeachment complaint, iba-ibang congressman yung endorser. So definitely, kung nag-endorse sila, boboto na sila to impeach the Vice President. Yung Committee on Justice po, 50 plus yung... so doon pa lang po, meron na. Plus, I think, marami na rin po ako naririnig na ayon sa... in favor of impeachment. Kaya, I think makakakuha po ng 105 dahil 300, 1/3 lang po Mukhang kaya po makuha sa Kongreso yun.
Sir, you're giving the impression na sa Committee on Justice matutuluyan itong impeachment complaint, one of the 4. Did I get you right? Your feeling is that yung Committee on Justice, most of the members, if not all, are for the impeachment?
Inclined to impeach the Vice President. I think so po. Kasi by Monday to Wednesday, itatakal na po yung grounds niya.
Sufficiency po.
Kung merong, pero I believe po na magkakaroon ng substance kasi ayon sa pagkakabasa ko, halos wala naman pong naiba doon sa nakaraang taon. At kung matatandaan niyo po, hindi naman tinakil ng Supreme Court yung laman ng impeachment. So, pero kami po, nabasa na huna, medyo naiba lang yung style, pero still believe yung magic number na 105 kaya pong makuha. And even sa Committee on Justice, naniniwala ako na magkakaroon ng substance and supports.
Balayan ko lang po yung...
Pero Congressman, nung nakaraan at overwhelming yung vote for impeachment. Ngayon may mga nagsasabi, marami daw na mga member ng House ngayon, iniisip, baka maging presidente to si Vice President sa 2028. At baka daw lumiit, maging medyo significant yung liit ng boto. Although sinabi nyo nga, 105 lang naman ang kailangan. Pero tama ba yon na sa sense nyo, iniisip nga ng mga kasamahan nyo ngayon sa House na nag-aalala sila na iniisip nila yung 2028 kung anong pwedeng maging resulta?
Well, ma'am, ako I still believe pa rin po sa wisdom ng mga congressman natin ngayon sa 28th Congress. And I still believe that they will vote based on their conscience and based what is right and what is just. Siguro po, because that is our constitutional obligation na kung mali naman, tulad po na nangyari kay President BBM, hindi po at na-dismiss ng 200 plus po yung congressman na pumotor. This time po, kasi yung nakaraang composition, yung 19th Congress to 28th Congress, medyo magkaiba na po. May mga natalo noon at may mga bagong pumasok. So yun lang po yung hindi ko pa maalam kung ano yung magiging posisyon nila. Opo. May mga bata rin po nagpasukan ngayon. I still do not know kung ano yung magiging boto nila. Pero as far as yung ibang nakakausap ko po, lalo yung mga second termer and third termer, siguro po inclined sila to impeach the Vice President dahil based doon sa article of impeachment, yung 4. But we still have to see kung ano po talaga mangyayari.
Okay.
Balayan ko lang po yung NUP, yung inyong partido. Tama ho ba? You're 43 members right now in Congress?
42 right now po. It's 42.
42. At pag sinabi po ninyo na hating-hati, yung partido ninyo sa Kongreso doon sa issue ng impeachment, are you more or less looking at 50% hati o mas lamang yung isa?
That I still do not know. Pero narinig ko pa yung statement ni BS po, no? May mga nakausap siya na parang hindi pabor do sa impeachment. Ngayon, meron din po naman ako nakausap na pabor, just like Congressman Benny Abante na Isa pa sa
Siyempre, endorser po
Pete
siya.
Abate is also from NUP at isa pa po siya sa mga endorser ng fourth impeachment complaint. So siguro po, hindi ko alam kung hating-hati pa talaga. Malalaman po natin by Monday kasi kanina pa lamang po pinadala sa office namin yung fourth impeachment complaint eh. At ako po hanggang sa oras na to, aminin ko sa inyo, binabasa ko pa po eh.
Yung last year po na impeachment vote, meron bang posisyon yung NUP as a party nung huling impeachment vote? February
Never,
last year.
never pong nagbigay ng posisyon
talaga.
ng NUP at that time. Ang instruction lang po lagi at in any voting naman po ng House Bill, ang instruction po ng NUP is you have to vote based on your conscience. Yun lang po lagi. Kung ano yung sa tingin yung tama, kasi minsan po, kung sa tingin ng isang congressman eh, hindi tama, hindi po namin pinipigilan yun, yung mga ganong sitwasyon.
But
Lalo na po dito sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara, dahil sabi nyo nga ho, nahati yung kongreso dito. So, lalong hindi po posisyon ng NUP na magdidikta po sa amin. At never naman po nagdikta ang NUP sa kanyang sa mga congressman na partido.
Pero importante po last year, karamihan I suppose ng NUP bumoto for impeachment. Kasi,
I think so. Hindi, pero ano po, kung natatandaan nyo, Kiko Barsaga is one of the
Yeah.
NUP member
Opo.
last year na hindi na rin siya bumoto kaya kagad sa ano. Hindi po lahat bumoto. I don't think so. Tsaka si DS Puno po, he is not a part of the 19th Congress eh. Ngayon pa lang siya. So talagang hindi ko po alam. Papasahin niya po at naniniwala naman ako sa wisdom ni DS Puno at magdi-decide siya based on his guts, based do sa what is just and what is right. Yung po lagi ang sinasabi naman niya sa amin lahat.
Sir,
Congressman, cambio lang akong konti.
wait lang, Ami.
Nagkakaroon ba kayo ng
Ami,
ng-
wait. Let me just close out this party stand on the impeachment. Nakalimutan ko na tuloy, Mike. You said it's causing a lot of division within the party. Amongst the ones na ayaw that are against the impeachment, what are they telling you?
Nahihinaan po sila doon sa complaint. Yun po ang sinasabi nila. At yung iba, sinasabi nila doon sa confidential fund, talaga naman daw pwedeng alias. Iba-iba po na opinion eh. So, iba po yung opinion ko, iba yung opinion ng ibang mga congressman po sa atin. Yung first term congressman po na NUP, to be honest, hindi pa po sila nagbibigay ng ano nila ng opinion nila eh. Kung ano, baka ngayon pa lang din po nila binabasa.
Okay. Ami?
Congressman, magkakaroon ba kayo ng party positions sa dynasty? It's a very contentious issue eh.
Not a party position, pero definitely po, naririnig ko na rin na mukhang lahat kami papunta sa anti-dynasty po.
Pero ano
Ako
nga
po,
yung
I
specific,
myself-
anong version?
Yung version, yung sa second consanguinity po, yun po.
Second degree of
Senate,
consanguinity.
Senate
Apo.
version?
Bawal
Saka-
yung direct succession.
Apo, bawal yun. Yung may version po si Speaker Boji eh. Malamang yun po yung susundin namin. Yun po yung hawak-hawak
the
namin na
speaker's version.
binabasa namin.
ito po yung may clustering.
Clustering yung kay Speaker Boji eh.
Again po,
Yun yung papayagan kayo sa iba-ibang di ba?
hindi po.
Regional,
I
provincial.
think it's 22, 23 version po yung pinasok ng
Oo nga.
ang
24.
pinag-uusapan namin. Opo. Pag-iisahin po namin yon pero mukhang nagkakasundo na po kami doon sa hanggang second degree. Kasi medyo malayo na po yung fourth degree. Tsaka yung succession nga po, yung direct succession, mukhang yun po hindi papayagan. Pero wala pa po sa final version inaayos pa po ng Committee on Electoral Reforms in which I am also a member of that committee.
Sorry, naputol po kayo, sir. You were about to say, para sa'yo, what did you think personally of
Hindi po.
the bill?
Doon sa second degree po. Pero hanggang ngayon po, kasi nga pinagsama-sama yung 23 version, inaayos pa po namin sa electoral reforms in which I am also a member of that committee.
Wala pang consensus at this point.
Wala pa po, siguro hanggang next week po, pero kasama na po sa LEDAC ni Presidente yun. At definitely po, siguro within 2 weeks bago magbakasyon ng Kongreso, ipapasa po namin yung anti-dynasty law.
2 weeks bago mag-break.
Hopefully, definite po yun na may papasayo bago mag-break.
Okay. All right. We'll hold you to that, Congressman. Ed?
Okay.
Okay. We'll leave that there. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Congressman Rolando Valeriano of the Manila 2nd District. Salamat, sir.
Salamat
Thank you, sir.
po. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ayan,
so
wow.
former
Tutuloy
members
ang
pala.
dynasty,
May papasana na anti-dynasty bill, it looks
in
like.
2 weeks. Oh.
Well, 2 weeks
Before the Holy Week break.
2 weeks before the break. Exactly. I mean, that's the rough target. And
That's in Congress, ha?
although he
Iba
said,
pa yung Senado.
yeah, I know.
Hindi, meron din natin sa Senate, di ba? Na meron na rin nabubuo yung yung ganun din, second degree, di ba? Second degree, yung 12 ang nagpirma so far among the senators. Ang tanong na lang, ilan yung papayagan na sabay-sabay umupo? Simultaneously.
And the bigger
Yun yung
question,
medyo malabo, no?
the bigger question for me is the succession, if that will be allowed. Kasi maraming nagre-reklamo din about it. Many are up against that provision na bawal yung succession. As Congresswoman Janet Garin told us, many of her colleagues feel that it's impinging on their constitutional right to run for office. Yeah, but it'll be interesting anong version Congress finally passes.
And yung clustering, the controversial clustering of
Yan,
that's word, ba?
kung ilan yung
Clustering.
papayagan. Diba?
Kung ibang jurisdiction ka, pwede ka
lang
tumakbo.
papayagan to serve simultaneously. Ayun.
Okay.
Ewan ko yung sa House.
Okay. Well, we're on until 5:30 p.m. today. Storycon will be right back after a quick break. Please stay tuned.
Welcome back to the final stretch of the program. Welcome back to Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Ligaw, and of course, with us, Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star. Ami, anong malaking story nyo bukas?
Bukas, Saturday.
Naabangan pa natin syempre yung mag-umpisa pa lang in a couple of minutes, no? Final phase ng defense. Then sa confirmation of charges. Abutin na naman
The
yan alas
concluding
10.
remarks.
At saka, of course, interesting yung nag-speculate bakit napunta si Mr. Lotilla sa Vatican. So he can pray more daw.
Nakakatawa.
Castro nagsabi niya na.
I thought it was funny what he said, which is that apparently he told President Marcos he wanted a quote-unquote lighter assignment. Totoo naman, mahirap ang DNR. Mahirap talaga ang DNR. You're constantly wrangling with competing interests sa DNR. Right? Especially
Although matagal na, isa siya sa mga nababanggit na several weeks now.
na
talagang ang
palitan.
mawawala.
Oo nga. But
Masarap ang posting sa Holy See, ha?
oh yeah.
Di ba?
It's a very cushy diplomatic post.
Pwede mo lakarin yung
Yes.
yung buong estado in one day.
Exactly. And then you're close to the
Oo. Enjoy
to
yun.
the fathers, to the seat of the
Malapit ka sa langit.
the power of Castro. Ayun, malapit sa langit. Pero balik tayo dun sa ICC, let me just remind everyone that we are not expecting a decision today. The ICC pretrial chamber has up to 60 days to decide on whether or not this will proceed to a full trial. As we keep saying, there are 3 possible outcomes. It could proceed to a full trial. It could be remanded. They could say we need more evidence. They could ask the prosecution to gather more evidence, or it could be outright dismissed. What could be decided on today, and we're not entirely sure about the timeline as well, is his detention at, I think, 10 p.m., 9 to 10, or I think it was 10 p.m. our time, that the chamber will conduct a hearing on Duterte's continued detention, and they may decide on that. We're trying to find out exactly what the timeline is for that.
But that's a regular review of
It's an annual thing.
detention.
Yeah.
Yung request for
It's not because of any decision made earlier or any motions made earlier, but it's
I'm sorry.
It's a regular review.
Okay, so I was asking about this, and we just got an answer through our reporter at The Hague from the official ICC spokesperson, and they said no decision is expected during the hearing on detention this afternoon, meaning 9 p.m. our time. This hearing is held by the chamber to hear submissions by the parties on the question of detention, and the chamber will take these submissions into account to make its decision. During the hearing on the review of detention, the chamber will hear submissions from both the prosecution for 20 minutes, the CLRV, the common legal representative of the victims, for 15 minutes, and then the defense for 20 minutes. So again, we're not expecting a decision on that either. So they didn't say when we can expect a decision on the detention though. But as Ed said, this is part of an annual
based on
review.
yung mga ruling nila dyan sa interim release, I guess we all know na kung ano yung magiging ruling niyan. As of this time, baka later in the coming months. So, nire-review siya regularly, di ba?
Correct.
Oh, maybe later. Unless, pero but if this thing goes to trial, hindi na siya pakakawalan.
There will be a press release from the ICC at the end of the confirmation of charges hearing. So we'll definitely break that to you as soon as we get it, as well as a recorded statement from the ICC spokesperson. But that's all that we're expecting today. Again, no decision on either the confirmation of charges hearing and the detention of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Interesting as well to hear what the closing arguments will be. Of course, you know, at this point, we know quite a bit already about how the prosecution's main arguments, pati na yung defense. If I were to summarize the defense's main argument, it is that there was no direct order, there
There's
was
no
no
connection.
common plan, and there is certainly no link, no direct link. As Attorney Kaufman said yesterday, it all collapses at the level of the co-perpetrators because there's nothing to connect Duterte to the killings on the ground. There's no demonstrable evidence, is what he was arguing yesterday. And then
No smoking gun.
no smoking gun, exactly. And
Yeah.
he also tried to cast into doubt the reputation, the credibility of the witnesses that the prosecution used. He said these are, criminals. The most that they can allege is that they interpreted it themselves, that to neutralize means to kill. And then, he said that they were only mostly doing this in exchange for immunity. So yun yung ano. It will be interesting how...
And the credibility of the media reports used.
Yes.
Ayaw talaga mga sensationalized,
You know,
Ano yan? Philippine Star yan.
sensationalized reporting.
I'm sure yung Jari yung ibig niya sabihin.
Cherry picking the reports.
Oo nga, Ami, why did you cherry pick? Ikaw talaga.
Cherry picking the statements.
You use the salacious, you love salacious headlines daw. And
Salacious, yes, salacious.
And the drama of the crime scenes set against the backdrop of a rain-filled,
With the lighting.
with
Yeah.
the dramatic lighting. I forgot the exact phrase, but you know what's going to be interesting is how that video clip that's being contested by that journalist from Davao, si Ben Tesiorna, how that might
Yeah.
factor into this case. Because now si Ben Tesiorna has filed a notarized affidavit asking the ICC to, number one, take down the video, redact it from the official records, and number two, issue an apology, saying that
Yeah.
it was misrepresented.
Testing lang daw yun. Yeah, it was testing a technology.
So it'll be interesting to see how the ICC responds to that, because it would be a hit to their credibility if they have to at one point issue an apology nga for using that clip that the Siorna took.
Okay. So, Ami, maliban doon sa ICC, what do you expect to be in your headlines
Di ba
tomorrow or
nag-umpisa
front
yun
page?
ngayon?
Hmm?
Di ba nag-umpisa na yung proceedings ngayon?
Should be.
Should be
5
yes.
o'clock.
5
Yun lang,
o'clock.
dynasty, impeachment. NBI is going to start investigating daw the statements of the 18. The 18 Marines
yeah.
and
Yeah.
non-Marines, and
Matibag.
titignan nila. So, tignan natin kung ano kalabasan yan, because if Mike Defensor is correct, it's actually continuation of the testimony of Gutesa, Orly Gutesa. Nag-disappear na nga si Orly Gutesa. Kaya titingnan natin. Although if it's NBI, ibig sabihin DOJ yun, ano? Ang binigay daw ni Atty. Baligod to the Ombudsman. Although pwede namang humingi rin ng tulong ang Ombudsman sa, I guess, sa NBI. So yan yung follow-up niyang yung istoryang yan. At baka kung gusto niyo foreign affairs, dadating si South Korean President next week. Nag-announce sila. We're buying a lot of
Military,
big ticket
military
defense
equipment.
from them, hardware. Ships and aircraft. At meron daw serious effort to buy a submarine
From
for
Korea?
our Navy. From Korea.
From Korea.
Dati kasi sabi wala daw tayong pera.
Tsaka dati they were looking at the Russian kilo class eh.
Wala naman talaga pera. I mean, the budget is not...
Ngayon daw, they're exploring the possibility na to go through a Korean loan.
Because it's also, obviously from a foreign affairs perspective, it's also favorable to
Yes.
Korea to, you know, have closer defense ties with the Philippines because they're also
Yes.
having their own issues with China. Lee Jae-myung, the South Korean president.
Yes, he's arriving. At magtataas na naman daw ng tuloy-tuloy yung price hikes in the coming month. March na, March.
March. Today is the last working day of
Tuloy-tuloy yung price
February.
hike.
I can't believe it. Ang bilis. It's the last working day of February. March na next week.
Walang 20,
Yeah.
walang 29 tsaka 30.
Next week.
28 na bukas.
I mean, March na, it will be the 1-year anniversary of Duterte's arrest and
Yes.
transport to the
Susunod
Hague.
na yung the Ides of March for him.
The Ides of March. So poetic.
For him.
And by the way,
Sino
sorry.
mga Ides of March kaya ngayon?
Ngayong bumalik
Ngayon
tayo.
kaya, sino?
Yes. We don't know, di ba? Although various legal experts have already told us not necessary that just because there were 9 named co-perpetrators that they will also be arrested.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not necessarily going to be the case. So we don't know who the next people will be, if at all. If at all, di ba?
Di ba sinabi sa atin, baka maximum lang 2 more. Maximum.
Because they're only going
Kasi-
after the people at the top, the
Yes.
quote unquote masterminds. By the way, coming back to Duterte reminded me of something. Sabi ni Sal Panelo kanina that they have to prove a direct link. I don't think that is counter to what all the other ICC linked experts on international law that we have spoken to. Sabi nila, you don't need, when it comes to international criminal law, you don't have to prove direct link and causation, direct causation. There is a possibility that if it's all circumstantial evidence, and it is at this point, as Attorney Kaufman said, there's no smoking gun. If it's all circumstantial evidence, if the only logical conclusion of all that circumstantial evidence is that he was responsible for all these deaths, then that's an inference, and the criminal court can take that as a, can use that to move the case forward. So it
May isa
doesn't.
pang interesting point na ni si Kaufman.
Hindi daw kailangan direct causation.
Sabi niya, yung civilian population daw sa crimes against humanity, I need to conduct research on this, no? Ang definition daw ng civilian population sa crimes against humanity under the ICC, hindi naman daw covered yung sitwasyon na to. Kasi yun daw, kahit daw may organizational order, kung sakasakali man na mapatunayan yon na merong ng ganong systemic na order na matitrace dito sa Pilipinas, ang order daw is for criminals, not to the civilian, not directed sa civilian population.
So they're trying to create a subgroup.
So yon ang hinahanap ko na description. Under daw sa crimes against humanity ng ICC,
It has to be an attack on the civilian
Pwede mong
population.
ibahin yon kasi that's a defense actually of Rodrigo Duterte. Sabi niya, may presumption of regularity ang he just wielded the powers of the presidency to deal with criminality. Yan ang lagi niyang sinasabi noon nung presidente siya.
He
But
was,
what if you shoot
Eto, gagawin ko to.
people on suspicion of being
tatargeting ko
criminals?
because I am protecting the civilian population.
Yeah.
That's their
so
message actually.
he's trying to, they were trying to classify it as a subgroup. They are not part of the civilian population. It's not a direct attack on the civilian population. But of course, at this point, probably the prosecution will question that because, I mean, all these people that were killed, not all of them were drug users in the end, after all. Diba? There were some cases na hindi naman mistaken identity. Remember that 3-year-old that was killed? I can't remember her name, but she was...
Roquian de los Santos.
Roquian de los Santos. She was 17
Kasi
at that time.
yung defense na yan ni Duterte, ginamit na rin yan nila, remember sa Thailand, yung crackdown ng drugs, si Thaksin Shinawatra.
Yeah.
Yan din ang sinasabi nila
Oo.
We're just doing our job.
Yeah.
We are going after the drug dealers. Ang dami ring napatay dun sa Thailand.
Yeah. Okay, that does it for us this week and this February.
Yeah.
We didn't have Ronald for most of February.
Oo nga. Ay, lokong yun.
Marami
Text
siyang
nga natin.
nag-ano daw siya ngayon
Kaya nga.
Hindi naman black ops, kundi
Yes.
special
Black Ops
operations.
talaga sinabi.
Yes, that's it. Marami siyang special operations that
Marami
especially
siya special operations ngayon.
Especially-
Kahapon nag-usap kami dito.
especially in the afternoon. So madalas that's why he's been skipping the show, but we hope to have him back soon.
Black Ops daw.
Black
Si Ami talaga.
Ang nagsabi.
Si
Special
Ami
ops.
nagsabi nun, ha?
Special
Okay.
ops, niloloko ko lang.
Thank you for joining
Gusto ko yung black
Storycon.
Tingnan mo, pareho kayo naka-black.
This is blue.
This is blue.
blue ba yan?
That's black.
It's
Thanks
blue.
for joining Storycon today
Blue ba?
and this week. Ami Pontuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Happy weekend, everyone. Ay, ako pa rin. Join us again Monday, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao, kapatid. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.